Good morning to everyone. I am Gopal Krishnan, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Civil Engineering at Sri Muthukumaran Institute of Technology. Here I choose a subject, Construction Materials and Technology, for first year students. The course objective of this subject to impart the fundamental knowledge of traditional and modern building materials used in construction and introduce method of construction such as masonry, formwork, scaffolding, plastering and joints. Unit 1. Unit 1 contains stone, bricks and concrete blocks, and Unit 2 lime, cement, aggregates and mortar. Unit 3 timber, metals and other materials, and Unit 4 advanced materials, and Unit 5 construction equipments and planning. These are the reference book I follow. Introduction. The introduction of this subject. Stones are naturally occurring on its surface. That's why no need to manufacture stone masonry becomes cheaper than brickworks. Before invention of bricks, stones are most widely used to build dwellings. Ancient days, stones were used as paver on roads because to carry heavy traffic. After the decades, humans learned how to build beautiful monuments with natural stones, ornamental structures like temples and some places of assembly. Now, why we use stones? Because stones are most permanent than most of the other natural building materials like wood. In prehistoric monuments that remains today, they are also made of stones. Stones are most preferred before the advent of concrete for heavy engineering construction like bridge piers, harbor walls, seaside walls. It also used as a facing work for tall buildings. But many situations, foundation of ordinary buildings which are liable to the flooded, the stonework is used. Because submerged bricks break down when it time out, but stone work remains stable. Today, stones are most important sources of in the form of aggregates, which means coarse aggregate and fine aggregate. That's why as a civil engineer, we should be familiar with the stones. Next, classification of stones. Masonry construction stones must be durable, hard and tough and sound. Also free from soft patches, cracks and other defects. Why we check the properties means if the property is not followed correctly in manner, it reduces strength and durability. For building purposes, stones are obtained by quarrying from solid massive rocks and others. Next one, geological classification. Geological classification contains three classifications: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. First, we explain about igneous rocks. Igneous rocks are formed by cooling of molten lava at the place of volcanic activity. Molten lava solidifies above the earth. Example, basalt and andesite. Solidified for below the earth's surface, other namely plutonic, but it is exposed by erosion. Example, granite and diorite. Major intrusion, dikes and siles, the greases is the examples. Next one, sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are formed by intense pressure in water which converts sediments into rocks. Example, limestone, sandstone and dolomite. Next one, metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks are formed by either pressure or heat or both. Example, slates and marbles. Due to combination of both pressure or heat, the following changes are happen in the sedimentary rocks. Example, sandstone into quartzite and limestone into marble. Next, physical and chemical classification of rocks. The physical classification of rocks are follows: stratified rocks, unstratified rocks and foliated rocks. And chemical classification of rocks are siliceous rocks, argillaceous rocks and calcareous rocks. First one, siliceous rocks, which means it consists of quartz and sand. Next, argillaceous rocks, it consists of clay minerals. Next, calcareous rocks, it consists of lime. Next, common building stones and its uses. Based on the rock type and formation, the stones are used in buildings for masonry, flooring, roofing and paving roads as well as aggregating concrete. Geologically, it is easy to identify from their appearance and texture. These are the following appearance and texture in the rocks. First one, granite. Granite is an example of igneous rocks. It carry heavy engineering works for bridge, piers, columns and retaining walls. Also used as floor slabs. Next one is a basalt. It is also type of igneous rocks. It also works as same as granite, which means it is durable and crystalline structure. Next is a gneiss rocks. It is the example of metamorphic rocks because of plenty minerals mixed with mica. Next, quartzite. Quartzite is also the metamorphic rocks type. It is not suitable for ornamental work because it is brittle. Next, marble. Marble also a metamorphic type of rock. It is used for ornamentation, flooring and stone facing slab. Next is slate. Slate also a metamorphic rock type. It is used for damp proofing, flooring and roofing. Next is a limestone. Limestone also a sedimentary rock type used for coarse aggregate for concrete and also base material for cement. Next, quarry with hand tool also the old method for to excavate the rocks. Well-shaped blocks used for construction of masonry. The following methods are used to excavate the rocks. First one is the digging and excavating. It is a primitive instrument like pickaxes, shovels and chisels used to extract soft stones into large or small blocks. Next, heating. Rock occur in the layer wise. The surface is heated by fire. The differential expansion separates the upper layers. Next one is a wedging. Wedging also, if the rock contains fissures and cracks, the steel wedges are driven through the cracks and the pieces are separated. Suppose natural cracks are not absent. The holes of about 10 cm diameter and a depth of 20 to 25 cm along a line 15 cm distance, either by hand or pneumatic tool to excavate the rocks. Next, quarrying by use of channeling machine. It contains, suppose the large blocks of stones are cut in this type of method. First, cut the 3 sides, which means the size of width 50 to 75 mm and 24 meter in length and 240 to 370 cm depth. Next, quarrying of stones. The quarrying of stones means, quarry means the place exposed to air like a stone. They are obtained from solid rock formation and not from loose boulders. But boulders and weather blocks are not important for this construction. But mine means extraction of precious stones, coals, etc. The following quarrying methods are given below. Based on the type of geological formation, example, if the rock formation consists of horizontal layer but shallow depth, able to cut them in layers by use of hand tool. But stone contains of whole crystalline mass. That's why have to blast them with explosives. Few examples of quarrying by blasting. For railway or ballast, these methods are most commonly used to cut large blocks into irregular blocks. The material used for blasting are explosives. The explosive used for blasting can be gunpowder. Suppose the chemical explosives also used. Chemical explosives like dynamite, it is the licensed one, which means government type agency only follow. But illegal storage, it is crime. Dynamite generally is a detonator. Gunpowder shatters the large blocks and dynamite shattering power of small blocks of stones. Dynamite is most costly than gunpowder. So these are the quarrying methods we must know as a civil engineer. That's why we are familiar with how we utilize stones in building site. The course outcomes. First one, the properties, classification and application, conventional and advanced building materials. How to evaluate the quality and how to evaluate and suitability of stones, bricks, cement and lime aggregates by using standard test. To apply the knowledge, construction practices such as masonry formwork, scaffolding joints and finishes in building works. To utilize construction planning techniques, networks and equipment selection of effective project execution is also followed in the course outcomes. Here is the remember for our topics. The three images are follow. So first image explain about Kadapa stone. They also followed in the building construction site in kitchen area. Sandstone is the large type of boulder size rocks. It's also seen in the roadside, which means a large type of metro sites also formed. We see. And third one is a stratified type of rocks, which means physical classification. Under physical classification, how the rocks sedimentation due to the pressure of the water and atmosphere.